Alexander Volkanovski reveals what Carlos Ulberg's injury likely is, and predicts his return. The fallout from UFC 327 continues, but one of the most interesting takes hasn't come from doctors, it's come from a fellow champion. Alexander Volkanovski believes he already knows exactly what happened to Carlos Ulberg inside the octagon, and when fans can expect to see him back, and if he's right, the timeline could have major consequences for the entire light heavyweight division. A legendary win with a serious cost. Ulberg shocked the MMA world at UFC 327 by knocking out Yuri Prochazka to capture the light heavyweight title. But the victory came at a price. Early in the fight, Ulberg suffered a severe knee injury, yet somehow continued and delivered a stunning knockout, one of the toughest performances in recent UFC history. Initial reports and reactions strongly suggested serious ligament damage, with many fearing a torn ACL that could sideline him for months, or longer. Volkanovski thinks he knows the injury. Speaking after the fight, Volkanovski didn't hesitate to give his assessment. According to him, everything points to one injury: a torn ACL. Volkanovski even referenced how Ulberg was able to continue fighting despite the damage, suggesting the situation was worse than it looked, but also consistent with fighters pushing through ligament injuries. He doubled down on his belief that the mechanism of injury. Ulberg's movement afterward. The visible instability. All match what fighters experience with ACL tears. Expected return timeline. Volkanovski didn't stop at diagnosis, he also predicted the recovery window. He believes Ulberg will likely need more than 6 months before returning. That estimate lines up with typical ACL recovery timelines in MMA, especially if surgery is required. However, other reports suggest it could be even worse. Some early speculation says Ulberg could miss the rest of 2026. In severe cases, recovery could stretch close to a full year. So while Volkanovski's prediction is optimistic, the reality may depend on MRI results, whether surgery is needed, rehab progression division in limbo. Ulberg's injury couldn't come at a worse time. He just became champion, but now may be forced to sit out during the most important stretch of his career. That leaves the UFC with difficult decisions. Create an interim title. Wait for Ulberg to recover. Or fast-track a new contender. The light heavyweight division was just getting clarity. And now it's uncertain again, fighting through the impossible. What makes this story even crazier is what Ulberg actually did. Despite potentially tearing his ACL, he stayed in the fight. Absorbed pressure from Prochazka. Timed a perfect counter. Finished the fight in round 1. Moments like this are why fighters earn legendary status, but they also come with long-term consequences, respect from a champion. Volkanovski's comments weren't just analysis, they were respect. As a fellow champion, he understands the pain tolerance required, the mindset to keep fighting, the risk involved. And his breakdown adds credibility to what many already suspect. Ulberg didn't just win a title, he did it while seriously injured. Final thoughts. Whether it's 6 months or a full year, one thing is clear. Carlos Ulberg is facing the toughest fight of his career outside the cage, recovery. And if Volkanovski is right, fans may have to wait a while before seeing the new champion defend his belt. But when he returns, the division better be ready.